welcome to Alongside Lauren. I am Lauren and I am super stoked that we have an opportunity to take just a little bit of time on this Sunday afternoon to get bits and pieces prepared for the week. We have had a few weekends away, which has been wonderful, but I am ready and raring to get back into the routine of getting bits and pieces prepped for our week on Sunday afternoon. This week we are heading back into the territory of salad after eating all of the things after the last month. So this week we are going to be dining on a roast pork shoulder with a really beautiful citrus salad, which is going to go on the side, inspired by the fact that I have a whole lot of mandarins at the moment. So I'm going to get crack-a-lacking on getting this roast pork shoulder into the oven. And the good news is that we're not eating it tonight. So the fact that we're putting it on a little bit later in the afternoon kind of takes the pressure off. So I don't have to stress about the fact that we probably wouldn't be eating till like 9 o'clock at night if I was putting this into the oven for us to have for dinner now. So I have got my chopping board. I have got my roast pork. I'm kind of just sort of seeing how I feel with this in terms of what I'm actually going to do for the recipe. I was thinking that it would be kind of cool to do the pork in a low-key citrusy kind of flavour, but I didn't want to marinate the pork because that will mean that our potential of having any kind of crispy crackling to go with it is pretty much nil. And I really love crackling, says the lady who just said that she's trying to make things a little bit healthier. We'll just ignore that. So what we want is a roasting tray. With our trivet. Just excuse the crash and clatter while I go hunting for that roasting tray. And I'm still trying to figure out what to put into the salad. So I've got salad greens, I've got some cucumber to go in there as well. I've got some green capsicum if I'm feeling, like living life on the edge. And have also got some herbs from the garden that we can pop in as well. I'm a little bit concerned that because I am ostensibly just having roast meat and salad, that if I don't have something fun to put in the salad, then I'm going to get sad, which means that I'll get snacky. So I was thinking about also doing some roast potato and roast sweet potato that we can do a little bit like croutons to go in there. But, I'm open to ideas. So we're going to crack into this pork. It's I think it was about a 2.2 kilo piece of pork shoulder that we picked up on sale a few weeks ago and then just had it in the freezer. We didn't need to eat it that week, but there was a super special on pork shoulder, so it was $6.99 a kilo, which is a really, really good price for pork shoulder.
Hello.
That's my sous chef, Heath.
Hello,
darling.
everyone. Yes, I'm Heath. Glad to be back enjoying cooking and preparing our weeks. So, yes, I can see that you are stuck in with the pork shoulder.
I'm getting cracking with the pork
it's looking
shoulder.
really good. I'm going to let people see exactly what it is that you're up to at the moment.
I am cutting off the netting off the pork shoulder because we want
Which makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, particularly if we do want to try really hard to get some good crackling on this, which my secret to crackling is not to panic.
Got it.
And if it doesn't work, you just stick the crackling in the oven after it's cooked with the heat way up, and that'll probably finish it off and it'll be perfect. It's just one of those things that people get a lot of anxiety about, and there's absolutely no need. It's just pork. And if it doesn't work, what's the worst that's going to happen? So if I had thought about this Normally what I would have done is I would have taken the netting off the pork and then let the pork sit uncovered in the fridge for like a day or so. But I didn't think it through, so I haven't. But again, it's not the end of the world. We'll get it sorted. So what I'm going to do is get some garlic into the pork because we want to get some flavour into that pork, and I love me some garlic. So my idea is to get some slivers of garlic into the meat of the pork underneath the crackling on the underside. Put a little bit of veggie stock concentrate on that as well. And then slice the oranges so that they kind of act like a trivet underneath the pork. And that way the orange will kind of flavour the pork from the underside.
Yeah, cool.
And keep it sort of tender and not dry, because I don't want to use that word that starts with M.
Love it. Can you do me a favour?
Yeah.
On the tablet, just press that first button. First.
The other first.
That's the first one.
There, done. Sorry.
Perfect. Alrighty.
Now, while I get cracking on this, there's a few bits and pieces that we also will need to get done. Very boringly, we've got some bread that we need to slice.
Yep. Okay. I can be
Coleslaw that we
on
need to
bread
prep,
slicing
but
duty for a little while. Happy to
What
do
do we
that.
want to drink?
Oh, that's a far better question.
Mm-hmm.
That is a far better question. What are we going to make? Okay, so at the moment, the ingredients that we have.
We've got red wine. We've got sad Chardonnay.
Yep, we've got a little Chardonnay there. Good. We've got. Yeah, we won't go to the red wine. We
No, 'cause
actually
we're having roast beef tonight,
we
so we want to
actually
save
have
the
a
red
dessert
wine.
wine here that could be interesting for sweetening something up a little. Maybe not. Maybe not. All right, I'll get some soda water on the go. That's going to be helpful. I've got some lemon juice here.
Mm-hmm.
I really liked what you did with last night. We prepared something that was pretty tasty.
Oh yeah, I made like a white wine gin cocktail. So the cocktail shaker is in the dishwasher.
Yeah, that's okay.
That's
all
okay.
right. I can give it just a stir instead.
So there's some gin which is open at the front of the. So what I'm doing is I'm just very elegantly, or not so elegantly, poking holes in the pork roast and just squishing the garlic cloves into it. And this will just provide that beautiful garlicky flavour the whole way through the meat. So a sort of 2.2 kilo leg of pork will be, yeah, like a good amount of
Maybe
meat
just
for.
if you can show me what it is you're doing there.
Yeah, so,
Yeah.
and then just popping it into the little divot that I've just made.
How far in are you? Just enough to get the whole clove in.
Yeah, so like not trying to
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
get it in too far.
No, fair enough. All right. I found some gin.
Excellent.
I have got soda water. I've got lime juice. A little bit of white wine. This is starting to sound a little bit like a cocktail, isn't
I
it?
did add in some Cointreau, but I don't know if it was necessary last night.
What I like the idea of is, I know we've got a lot of citrus at the moment, don't we?
Mm-hmm.
So I might be able to juice something here.
Just not a mandarin, because we're using them for.
No.
Sure. that's not a mandarin, so
This is an orange.
that fits the bill. I wasn't quite sure if this was
All right.
Heath guesses fruit.
Heath guesses fruit? That sounds like a very boring game.
I agree.
All
I
right.
never said it was interesting.
Nope.
So I've got my trusty veggie stock concentrate that I'm going to add to the underside of this pork roast.
Cool.
And very elegantly smush it in. But just being careful to keep it only on the meat. Rather than on the fat.
Right. Yeah, you want to give the fat as much exposure to the
Yep.
heat as possible.
And I'm just going to pop that to the side.
Cool.
Wash my hands.
Looks good so far. I mean, it looks a little green for meat, but
Yeah, I know.
that's because that's what our veggie stock looks like.
Yes.
So nothing to worry about. Right, I'm giving this orange a little bit of a mush in
So
advance.
the reason why Heath does that, and I think the first time I did it, he probably thought I was being
Bit weird.
a bit strange, but the process of just giving a little bit of a roll on the bench means that you are helping those little cells that have got the juice in them to be able to more easily release the juice. So it makes the juicing process easier. All right, so I've got oranges that I've just sliced a little bit off the bottom so that they will sit a little more evenly
Cool.
on the roasting tin.
Made just like table legs.
Yeah, basically. And
meat,
then-
meat table legs.
Cool. And then kind of just sit them in underneath the pork
That's pretty cool.
like that.
Now you
Mhm.
just need to put like a little pig face on the front because it looks like little legs now. It's cute.
I don't know if everyone would necessarily like.
Yeah, some people might not agree with me on that. Okay, I'm going a half an orange worth of juice per glass. Why not?
And I'm going to put the salt on top of the pork roast. Now, this is one of those things where when you see how much salt I'm putting on, you're going to be slightly appalled. But you need a lot of salt for the crackling.
That is a whole handful of salt.
Yeah, it is.
A literal whole handful. So why is it okay to have so much salt on there? Because you don't end up eating that much salt, do you?
No.
Does it
it'll
just
kind of brush
Fall
off.
off or yeah.
But what we're trying to do is just make sure, so the salt will just help to get that nice and crispy.
Mm,
I'll just pat a little bit onto the sides there.
nice. Cool.
Excellent. Now I've got the oven at full whack, which is a very technical term for that temperature.
I like it. It's about 230 in our oven, I
Yeah.
think. Celsius, that is.
And then as soon as the pork goes in, we'll turn it down.
Oh,
I'll
okay.
just,
So that you don't just burn it.
yeah.
Right.
But it's just to sort of get that cooking process happening.
Cool, cool.
And then it'll cook nice and slowly. So I'll pop this
All right.
salt back in.
While
to
you're doing
the
that,
temperature.
I am making up more steps of this cocktail. So
Okay, do I have to remind, so that will be 2 standard drinks?
that's 2 standard drinks. All right. So we're going to go 1 standard drink, so roughly half. Where did we get this gin from, or who did we get this gin from?
Ah, that is the Redlands Coast Distillery gin. We got them from the Distillery Road markets in Bingley a few weeks ago. Really, like Australian. Is it the Australian one? Yeah, like lots of sort of Australian botanicals in it. It is just beautiful. It's such a nice gin.
Lauren and I don't love sweet things
No.
too much. We don't mind it when it's not as sweet, and because the orange juice is going to be quite sweet, I added a bit of lemon juice just to combat it a little bit.
Yeah,
Combat the sweetness.
perfect. I reckon a wee bit of a garnish
Excellent idea.
would be perfect.
I'm putting in
Yeah, I think that's a good
Like,
amount.
yeah, the
60
wine's
ml.
obviously not anywhere near as potent as the gin. 60 mils of wine. This is kind of be a little bit mimosa.
Yeah, but like
And-
it's not sparkling wine.
I'll get that soda water sodaing.
Okay.
Sorry about the noise. This is going to be a tad
I've
loud.
got 2 dried lime slices.
Excellent. All right. Might need a little stir because I didn't get any sort of a fancy shake from me. One of these days I'm going to make one and we're both going to go, oh, what was that? But hopefully not today. We will see how we go. Cheers.
Oh, that's lovely.
It's not too bad.
Mm.
Not too bad. It's not as cold as I thought it would be. But maybe that's because normally with a cocktail we would shake it on ice. So I'm just going to put a couple of ice cubes. Do you want a couple of ice cubes?
Yeah, that'd be great. And are you about ready if I pop the pork in?
That is good. Sorry?
Are you
Put the
ready for
pork
me
in.
to pop the pork
Yeah,
in?
yeah. Sounds great.
All right, so we've got the oven at full whack,
Full whack.
and pork will go in.
Mm-hmm. Beautiful.
And I will now turn that down to 160.
Uh-huh.
And that's just going to cook for like 2.5 hours.
Awesome.
So nice and easy. Well, I just pop that timer on.
All right, so I'm going to make a start on cutting up some bread, which is a bit boring. I think you are figuring out what sort of salad we're going to have. Is that right?
The exciting life that I lead.
There's a tiny bit of orange juice on that. That's a shame. I'll get myself a fresh board.
Excellent. I
Cool.
think you did a great job with that little cocktail, huh?
A little bit of fun. I don't know what to call it. It's a citrus, gin, and white wine thing. So I'm gonna call it
Genuine.
Ginny wine.
Genuine.
Ginny wine.
Genuine.
Orange ginny wine. A glass of orange ginny wine.
Sounds terrible.
Um,
It sounds like a like if you were going to do like a budget rip off of Harry Potter,
yep.
instead of having butterbeer, you
Yep.
have like ginny wine.
Ginny wine. All right. Well, I'm gonna go something like, instead of a Shirley Temple, we'll go with like
Isn't
a.
a Shirley Temple? Whoops.
No, That's still a. It's still a cocktail, isn't it?
Isn't it? I thought the
Is it
Shirley
not?
Temple was a virgin one, like the mocktail.
Oh, it probably is a
version.
mocktail version. No. But I'm using that as my like standard, which is just a first and last name.
Okay.
So I'm gonna go with Trevor Higgins.
Trevor Higgins.
The Trevor Higgins. There you go.
Trevor.
Trevor.
What?
Yeah, I think it's good. It's a good name for a cocktail.
You
A
you
nice
think
Trevor Higgins.
the
thanks.
Trevor is a good name for a
No,
cocktail?
no, Trevor Higgins.
The Trevor Higgins. Okay, cool. Alrighty, so we've got
With that said,
I think we're just gonna leave Trevor Higgins right there. So we've got the lettuce.
the lettuce. Yeah.
I think
a
I'll
lot
do
of lettuce.
a lot of lettuce. I think we'll do the mandarin sort of each night.
Yeah, good idea. So the whole point of what we get up to, if you're new to this, is we prepare our meals for the entire week so that we are completely on top of our week because we both work full time and don't have a whole lot of spare time at night. So what we want is to get home and have a really easy meal prep process.
It also, I find that by having everything all ready to go and already planned, that I'm heaps less likely to kind of
be sneaky and
tempted
go like
to get takeaway or like go out and
Yep.
buy lunch at work and things like that. So,
Yep.
so what I've done, so one of the tips that we have to try and make your salad last for the week is to line your container with some paper towel. So the paper towel will absorb any moisture from your salad, and we'll just keep it all nice and fresh. I'm just going to pop this in the
Pop that away.
In
just
the-
finished
in the
cutting
liquor
up our
cupboard.
bread for the week.
and it smells amazing.
It does. It's a nice smelling loaf. It's a whole meal, but has a heap of poppy seeds and sesame seeds on it. It should be pretty tasty for toast. Most mornings we'll do toast with an egg, sometimes a bit of avocado if we've got it. And so that should be pretty good. Pretty good. Let's have another sip of this guy. The old Trevor Higgins. You've done it again, Trevor. Done it again. So yeah, the reason that you haven't seen us for a few weeks is because we were doing a little bit of traveling. So a couple of weeks ago we were in the US for a few weeks, and then after that, more recently, we were in Melbourne. So had a wonderful time. We saw family in the US, and I did a little bit of work while I was over there. And then we went down and saw a show and ate at a heap of fancy Japanese restaurants and things like that in Melbourne. It was very good. Lauren and I hadn't had a holiday, just the two of us, in a long time, so we decided it was time to have a short trip, just a long weekend away, just the two of us, which was really, really good. So, yes. Just. All right. Okay, I'm going to do a little bit of tidy up while Lauren gets that happening. She's also got these lettuce out, and I noticed they need a bit of a wash, so I might start peeling them back.
Sorry, I figured while I was
And
on that side of the house, I'd just grab some herbs to go in the salad.
yeah, nice. I'm just grabbing the lettuce. I knew that there was a need to give it a good wash, so
Oh, awesome.
So
If I
I
can,
thought I
yeah,
would-
if you can do that, that would be great.
thought I would make a start on that while you were out.
So if you've got a, some herbs growing in the garden, then don't be afraid to add fresh herbs to your salad leaves as well. I think it adds such a lovely You just used that knife for orange, didn't you?
I did, yes,
Great.
for orange, so that should be fine.
Because I just think it adds such a lovely additional flavour. So we've got some purple basil, some common basil, a little bit of parsley, and some chives that will pop into the salad as well.
Cool. I can smell the basil. It's always a nice punchy smell. All right, I've got one lettuce peeled. Peeled? Pulled apart.
Yeah.
go with that.
Peeling the lettuce would take a really long time.
That's a slow process.
It's a
the
very
old
slow
lettuce
process.
peel. Yep. Not even Trevor Higgins would do a
Oh
lettuce
my
peel.
gosh. So I guess what did Trevor Higgins do, and why did he get?
Oh, why did a
cocktail?
cocktail get named after him?
Yeah.
Yeah, these are all good questions,
What?
which I'm answering as slowly as possible while I think of a possible answer.
So Trevor Higgins was really famous
Uh-huh.
in the citrus growing.
Of course.
Community.
Of course he was, yeah. That's our Trevor.
Yep.
Yep.
And the Trevor Higgins cocktail.
Oh, I thought you were going to say the Trevor Higgins Memorial Park.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Is lined with citrus trees.
And at last, it took way too long, in my opinion.
Yes.
But
Yes.
finally,
For him to get the recognition he greatly deserved
That's it.
because his contribution to
Yep.
citrus growing.
and so now every year, you have
Yes,
the Trevor
you
Higgins
do.
Award,
You do
the finest.
for outstanding contribution to the citrus industry.
That's it.
Yep.
I think we
I
nailed
think
it.
we nailed it.
I think that is the answer. All right. Spinning that lettuce.
So I'm just dicing the cucumber. I had this thing where, like, I like to have a bit of variety in the sizing of bits and pieces that are in the salad, but I really don't like rounds of cucumber in salad.
Sure. Yeah. They're too big.
It's too big.
Yep.
It's too hard to eat.
Yep.
I don't know what to do with my fork.
I agree. Totally agree. All right. I've got batch 1 of lettuce. Ah. And again, because Lauren's laid down that paper towel, any of this like residual water isn't going to be an issue, which is good. Very, very good. All right. Hitting up the next one.
Yes, please.
Mmm. A bunch of
Thank you, darling.
bunch of flowers, bunch of lettuce
Yeah.
leaves.
Actually, there was
Just what you always wanted.
someone that I used to work with, and I don't know if it was when he proposed or when like he and his wife had their first date, but he gave her like a bunch, like a box of veg.
Oh yeah.
And so when they got married, she had like ornamental kale and some other veg in
Yeah,
her
okay.
her bridal bouquet, which is beautiful, but the ornamental
Smelly?
kale, yeah, it was an interesting choice.
Yeah.
Ornamental kale smells
Smells bad.
horrendous.
Yeah, right. But does it look good? I presume for the title ornamental. I don't know what it looks like, so yeah. I would assume that it doesn't smell great.
No. So I'll just pick this parsley to add in.
All right. I'll give that another.
And then I think what we'll do is we'll, because I was thinking about maybe doing some roast sweet potato and potato
Yep.
that we can kind of add as like, almost like veggie croutons
Okay.
to the salad.
That sounds like a plan.
So once I've got the salad done, we might just prep the veg. So the oven is a bit low in terms of temp for roasting, but it'll still get there. It might just take a little while, which is not the end of the world. So for dinner tonight, we have got leftovers from a pretty epic 3-course dinner that we put on for my mum for an early Mother's Day dinner last night. So my parents are taking some time out to go visit my sister in the US. So we tried to do a meal which sort of looked at mum's favourite things and where they were going, and in our Kiwi heritage as well. So we did an entree of some very classy buffalo wings, which were actually like
with like a blue cheese dipping sauce.
oh, it
and
was so good.
it was
delicious.
They were amazing.
Well, it was like ostensibly blue cheese dipping sauce, but I used an aged brie instead of the blue cheese. It worked
which
really well.
was perfect. Yeah.
Worked really well.
Had quite a bit of punch to it, but it was balanced out beautifully by the sweet saltiness of the wings. It was very, very good.
Yeah, Heath sort of came up with did the wing sauce.
The wing sauce, yeah.
I gave him the recipe and said, I usually make changes to it
Yep, and we don't have
based
some of
on
these
what we
ingredients.
have.
Good
So
luck.
I wish you well. And I think like you met the challenge. You
Yeah.
did really well with that.
Yeah, I was pretty proud of myself. We stand by a particular product here in this household, and it's called bagel seasoning.
Everything bagel seasoning.
Everything bagel seasoning.
Obsessed.
This stuff is just all of your. If you order a everything bagel, it comes with a heap of things on top.
So it's sesame, poppy seed. I think is there black sesame in there
Yep,
as well?
black sesame as well, plus
onion,
garlic
garlic.
flakes, onion flakes, sea salt flakes.
Yes.
And it is exceptional.
It's the bee's knees.
And the recipe called for things like garlic flakes and onion flakes. And I'm like, you know what? I reckon we just go with the everything bagel seasoning on this thing. So
And
just
it
put a heap of that in
added,
there.
quite a almost like a Middle Eastern kind of vibe to it because of
Okay.
the sesame. I thought.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. I hadn't really identified it myself, but now you say it. Yeah, cool.
It was really well. I really enjoyed it, and so we had the leftover wings today for lunch, which was
Yep.
delicious.
Yep.
And then the main, we did roast beef with Yorkshire pudding and steamed veg. So, and that was really, really good. We did a sourdough version of the Yorkshire pudding, which
Some
I've never
people
done before.
might not know what a Yorkshire pudding actually is. They would have heard of it, and they might not
So
know what it
it's
is.
like quite an eggy. Okay, so it's like a pancake. If you think of like a pancake batter that's got quite a bit of egg in it, and it's fairly runny, and you get your tin. So in this instance, we used
A muffin tray?
muffin tray, and you get your oil or your shortening or your lard that you then pop in the oven at quite a high temperature. So the fat is hot when you pour the batter in, and then they rise, and they. So I think in the US it's quite similar to a popover, I believe. Could be wrong. And it is just delicious. And then you use that to sort of sop up all of the gravy as part of your delicious roast beef dinner. So I am now going to just add the cucumber and the little extra herbs that we gathered from the garden as well.
Oh, look at that.
And it's just so pretty. And with the mandarin slices and with the veggie croutons,
that'll
it
be
will
like
be-
nice and sort of orange and things like that.
Yeah, it will just be like such a pretty
Yeah.
looking salad, but also really tasty
Yep.
and quite satiating and satisfying as well. Because particularly if you're eating a salad for a main, you want to make sure that it feels sort of hearty and you feel satisfied, so that you're not sort of going hunting for extra bits and pieces to top it up. Even though you may have eaten enough, you want to make sure that you feel full and not like you're stinging out or anything like that at all. So I reckon we'll get cracking on peeling the veg
Okay.
to get roasted,
Sure. Yeah.
which I don't think the cool kids say. Oof. We went for a run
So-
this morning, and I am feeling it. Oof.
That is true. All right, there's some sweet potatoes. Did you say you also wanted to do some regular potatoes?
Yeah.
Yep.
And I also, just because we don't have a heap of veg from last night, so I reckon if we do, we'll just roast some potatoes for you and I for tonight to go with dinner
Oh, that's a good idea. Okay.
while we're at it.
Great. Yep. Great. All right. Well, I can probably use this chopping board. Toss a few things in the sink. Put a lid on our bin. Have a swig of the old Trevor Higgins.
Just you wait, Trevor Higgins? No, that's My Fair Lady.
I hope that Trevor Higgins isn't somebody that I know of, but I don't think it is.
Why the name has stuck in
Like,
your head
yeah,
for some
yeah.
reason?
Yeah, but I think it's a
I'm
good
going
name.
to call this
good,
the
strong
Lauren.
name.
I don't know why.
It's a good, strong name.
So, all jokes aside, when we talk about his fruit and vegetable identification skills, in our fruit and veg box this week, we got something I have never seen before, which was it a candy melon?
Yeah, I think it was a candy melon.
Oh.
Yep.
So it's this bright yellow melon, and I thought it was like some kind of
Squash.
squash. So I was all sort of set to, I probably would have peeled it and roasted it to go with this. I'm fairly sure by the time I peeled it and
You would have gone,
smelt it
"Hang on."
and realised.
Well, I could smell it. And I'm like,
Yes, and it
are
smells
you
sweet.
sure this is a squash? This smells sweet.
So it's a beautiful melon, which has got quite an interesting texture. It's quite crisp compared to your other melons, and it's got a flavour similar to like your rock
A
melon.
rock melon? Yep.
Would you say?
Yep, very similar.
Yeah. Just beautiful.
I would struggle to distinguish it from a rock melon. But it is, well, at least the version that we had was a bit more crisp, like you
Yeah.
say. So, but it was very good.
It was lovely. Okay, so if we do, maybe how many potatoes do we have?
A few.
I reckon we'll do all of them.
Oh, okay. Great. I love roast potatoes, so no complaints there. And the smaller they're cut, the better. Because you get more crispy sides if you do that. Well, that's...
Excellent. So I'll just get a bowl there that we can pop them into once they're cut. So we do just need to make sure that we're cutting them in a consistent size.
Sure.
So,
You can be the guide.
oh, I just got a whiff of that roast pork.
It's
Smells
smelling good?
So good. Yeah.
Nice. Ooh. I think I did too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, way to go. That's going to be tasty.
So we want them to sort of be crouton adjacent. So do you think like that size?
Sure.
Okay. Right answer. So the amount of potato compared to sweet potato.
Is quite, significant. There's a lot
Yeah.
more regular potato.
Yeah,
That's okay.
which I'm happy with because
You're not a huge fan of
I
sweet
don't
potato.
love sweet potato.
I like it. I like it. When it's cooked well, I really like it.
Well, I'll do my darndest to cook it well.
Did not have a lot of sweet potato growing up though, so I'm guessing that my mum didn't like it that much
No,
in
oh,
comparison.
your mum cooks it heaps now.
Oh yeah, but growing up, it was either potato or pumpkin. Actually,
Maybe it just
typically
wasn't
for a
readily
roast, it was
even.
both.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That Trevor,
Trevor Higgins.
Higgins.
Yeah. The old Trevor Higgins.
the old Trevor Higgins.
Yeah.
It's quite a nice drop, darling.
I reckon it's got a good ring to it, the name. It's like the masculine Shirley Temple, you know? Like,
But it has alcohol in it.
yes.
So like a Tom Collins is a gin-based cocktail, so maybe that's
Oh,
a better
okay.
comparator.
Is it? Yeah,
Yeah.
there you go. So similar sort of concept to an old Tom Collins. Maybe that's why it sounds okay to me, because
Yeah.
I've heard of a Tom Collins. I couldn't tell you what it was.
I, to be honest, I also can't remember what's in a Tom Collins. I also feel like it was one of those cocktails when I heard it, I'm like, really? That's it? Okay.
It's a bit lazy.
Sorry, Tom Collins. I'm sure you're lovely.
At least call it the Thomas Collins. You know?
Oh, so formal.
Yeah. Come on, people. All right, we're getting there. We are getting there.
Just chopping the potato.
Chopping the veg.
Chopping the veg.
What is your plan for, like, are you going to toss the veg in something?
I will. I
Step us
think
through
I
it.
was. I will definitely do. I will add some garlic.
Mhm.
I was so Heath and I. This is so not very classy, but we have been known to do roast potato in, like oil and chicken salt. It's
Yeah.
delicious.
Yeah.
But I feel that maybe we need to just add a bit more flavour. And if we're sort of wanting them to be like croutons,
Right.
sort of trying to up the flavour ante there. So I was thinking oil, garlic, salt, and maybe some oregano.
Okay.
Yeah, so I guess in my mind, kind of thinking of it being like a nice sort of garlicky crouton.
Yep. Yep. That sounds good. That sounds very good.
Ooh,
There you
perfect.
are. No, we've got one more. One more sneaky one there. Now, the veggies that we get, if you've ever seen any of Lauren's veggie box unopening veggie box opening videos, there it is. An unopening video would be far less exciting.
That would just
Where
be
you put
me
everything
putting
back
things
in the
a box.
Yeah. Yeah. So we use a service that gets access to vegetables from farms that have been rejected by the major supermarkets and are instead So they've got some minor defects, and it means that you might have to trim a little bit or something like that. Sometimes they're absolutely perfect.
Yeah.
But it does mean today that I'm trimming a little bit more of the potato than you typically would, because there's a couple of sort of eyes that are
Yeah.
a bit deeper, and various things like that. But overall,
There's absolutely no
Knowing that
reason
we're-
why they should be.
yep, knowing that we're supporting farmers because 90+% of the vegetable is still perfect.
Yeah.
Typically it's 99% of the vegetables perfect. So we really like being able to do that, being able to support those farmers that otherwise wouldn't have been able to sell that product at all and would have made no money for that season of produce. So
Oh, there we go.
you're in.
I'm in.
All right, I'm squishing down all of this waste, and I'm going to take it out to the compost bin.
Thank you.
And then I get the vibe that we're pretty close to
We
done.
are. We've got some very unexciting things left to do, like prepping coleslaw for the week. No one needs to see that though.
No, it's something that we do absolutely every week, kind of like cutting the bread up.
Yeah.
But no, don't need to see that.
So
I
I'll
might take
just
that out
keep-
in a minute.
Yeah. Also, I'll just keep. I'm nearly finished.
Take your time. I'm just
Enjoying
smashing a Trevor Higgins.
smashing Trevor Higgins. Poor Trevor.
Poor guy.
Yeah. Didn't know what hit him. There we
It's
go.
actually pretty good.
So we've got the veg all cut up.
Yep. Oh yeah, you're gonna do.
Yeah. Can you grab? Oh, do you want?
Yeah. What do you need?
A roasting tray, or just a tray, and bake. Yeah. That one.
Sorry about the noise,
That
everybody.
should be fine.
As I tried to keep the noise down, I made it much
Made it worse.
Much worse.
And I'll just grab some baking paper.
And just there we go. Just recovering the one that I managed to send down the back of the.
Oh, you did a properly good job of it then.
I did indeed.
So there's a beautiful sweetness that you can smell coming through with the pork from the orange. Which I think is just going to really complement this salad really well.
Okay.
Or complicate it either way. So we will add a pretty good amount of garlic. So we've got our outrageously large bottle of pre-crushed garlic.
It is outrageously large, but yep. That is a good amount of garlic. No
4
complaints there.
teaspoons. But, keeping in mind that it is
Yep.
to do a few meals. And we have got our dried oregano.
Beautiful.
Oregano and pork is a really good combination. And
Good amount of
quite a
salt.
bit of salt. And I've got peanut oil here. Because it's great for roasting because it's got a much higher smoke point than olive oil. And I'm going to regret the size of the bowl that I picked.
Yeah, it's a bit full. So I'm zooming right in so that everybody can really see every move.
Oh, thanks.
In case
All my fails.
in case you miss,
In case
in
I
case
miss.
anything goes over the edge.
Thank you so much. I just really appreciate your support.
You're so welcome. Yep. Yep.
And so getting
That
all of
looks
that
really good.
fairly coated.
Yep. That looks great. All right.
And popping it onto the tray. And then we get the garlicky, oily goodness that's down the bottom.
Beautiful.
Spread it out to a single layer.
Very nice.
Yeah, so keeping in mind that this is going to be not the main event and that it's just going to be sprinkled on salad.
Yep. Still, it's going to end up being a very tasty addition.
Oh, yeah. And we'll also serve you and I for tonight. So that's like 5 meals worth of veg,
Which is pretty good.
which is pretty
Pretty
darn good.
good.
All right, and I'm going to pop that into the oven. Now, because the oven is at a slightly lower temperature.
Actually, while if possible, I'd love to get just. Could you open that
Yeah, sure.
briefly for
Ready?
just? Oh, I'm hoping that people can see how good that pork is looking now.
I wish you could smell it.
Very, very
It
nice.
smells amazing.
Yep. Way to go. All right, I'm very excited about that. That is going to be very tasty this week.
And that is us sort of
yeah,
getting
okay.
the main bits and pieces prepped for the week. So I hope that you have also taken a few moments this afternoon to get a few bits and pieces prepared so that you can feel a little more organised as we head into this week. We will do our darndest to try and share some photos of the end meal, but I always get so hungry. So I will do my best on Instagram. But we look forward to doing this all again with you next week on Alongside Lauren.